Hey, guess who's second on the practice chart?
Oh, he's not going to like that.
Oh, Kyle Busch. Second is something he is very familiar with. Number 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys down in that garage area that would love to finish second and third. But the driver of that 18 car, he's not one of them.
So while Boyer, the Busch brothers, and Newman have made one-lap runs, as have most of the top 15, Joey Logano is now on the 13th lap of this session, the 8th lap of which was his quickest. 17th overall. What are they up to, Larry?
Well, I just look at his two teammates, Ryan Blaney in the 12, who is 6th right now, Brad Keselowski in the 2, who's 11th. It looks like they're in full-blown qualifying trim. They've only made one run, one lap. So obviously Todd Gordon and Joey Logano can pull for that information, but I'd be willing to bet coming to the garage now, they will go over to qualifying trim.
Logano's run the most laps, 12. There's Ryan Blaney.
Now there's a kid you need to keep your eye on this weekend. I think he's going to have a pretty big weekend here, guys.
Boy, he had a great race in Martinsville a couple weeks ago.
Had a great race here last year, remember?
Had a great race here with Wood Brothers.
Well, this guy just gets better and better every week. The team gets better, he gets better. That's a pretty good operation right there.
Kurt Busch out for a second run. He was top of the chart until Boyer ran and was second until his younger brother took over that spot by 5/1000ths of a second.
Boy, look how shallow he is in turn 1.
He just cut it in there.
And that to me is the biggest change that Texas Motor Speedway has made as they reconfigured turns 1 and 2. They've lowered the banking down to 1 and 2, and they flattened out that entry. And that's one of the things that these bigger, heavier stock cars with all that power and all that speed in the straightaway and that little tiny spoiler, what it does not like is driving into a corner that flat with that fast.
Let's go back to Joey Logano running 12 laps. Vince?
Yeah, you guys were talking about the race run versus what most are doing here in qual trim, and I just talked with Todd Gordon, and he said he really likes to start in race trim, and he said, I really don't feel like with the track being as green as it typically is, you're going to learn much on the first qualifying runs to begin with if you go out in qualifying trim. He said, but also it's supposed to be much colder tomorrow, so we'd like to have a gauge on how the car is in race trim under these conditions. Might give you a little better indication of what you're going to deal with on Sunday, with temperatures tomorrow projected to be down in the 50s here.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, lows tonight in the 30s.
30s, yeah, I heard that.
Texas.
But you know, it goes to show how crew chiefs think differently. They don't all think the same. They all have a plan. They all execute a little bit differently. Jimmy Johnson went around first time by, went down pit road. That was Chad Knaus, and now you got Todd Gordon here. They're running a little different strategy. Some guys go at it a little bit different. I think I'm like Jeff. What are the results? That's what I want to know.
And then you have the Toyotas who didn't go out at all, waiting for some fresh rubber to be laid down by the Fords and Chevrolets.
Yeah, and what I would call the common denominator is what are the track conditions conducive of right now? Can I get really valuable information out of it, or do I just kind of take it with a grain of salt right now?
How about Jamie McMurray, still looking for his first top 15 finish of the season? That was the only caution for contact the entire Monday at Martinsville. Tough break for Jamie Mack.
And we've seen where Chip Ganassi Racing, especially with Kyle Larson, but even with McMurray last year, they were very competitive, and they were usually running together on the racetrack. This year, not only have both teams not been quite as competitive, but Jamie McMurray has also been quite a bit further back in the performance and the results to Kyle Larson, his teammate.
What we've seen from both those drivers is short run speed and good efforts, especially from Larson in qualifying, but not the long run speed needed to sustain a top 10, top 15 spot.